think that virtually every human being is dramatically interesting. Not only is he dramatically interesting, he is a creature of stature, whoever he is.
Oh, we're lost out here in the stars. Big stars, little stars. Look at me. Who am I? Well, who am I? I'll give you a hint. I'm not Apollo. In fact, I'm not even a god. Ignore my stately bearing for the time being and look into my eyes, and you will see their unmistakable mortality. Who am I? Modern man, flat on his back, with an oozing intestine, a bit of a tear frozen in the corner of my eye, a glass of booze, which will saturate without alleviating, and without the dimmest notion of what is it all about. Oh, we're lost out here in the stars. Big stars, little stars.
A divorce? A divorce Sydney for what? Because the husband is unfaithful? Oh, don't act surprised. You know, sometimes I think you kids down here in the village really believe your own notions for what the rest of the human race is like. There are no squares, sweetheart. Everybody is their own hipster. Believe me when I tell you. And what else would I do? In this world, there are two kinds of loneliness. With a man and without one. I pick. And let's face it, I cannot hide. I was on the stage once said, he had a book of reproductions by Goy, and there's this one in etching, I think. Have you ever seen it? There's this woman, a Spanish peasant woman, and she's standing like this, reaching out. And what she's reaching out for are the teeth of a dead man who's been hanged. And she's rigid with revulsion, but she wants his teeth. Because it says in the book that in those days, people thought the teeth of the dead were good luck. Can you imagine that? The things people think they have to do to survive in this world? Someday, I'm going to buy that print. It is all about my life.
Child, when do you think it's time to love somebody the most? When they done good and made things to be paradise? Well then, you ain't through learning, because that ain't the time at all. It's when he's had his fun and can't believe in himself because the world's unwhipped himself. When you start measuring somebody, measure him right, child. Measure him right. Make sure you done take into account all the hills and valleys he comes through before he got to wherever he is.
Good evening. I am very pleased to have been invited to be a part of this program, and I hope this isn't premature. That is, this is a writers' conference, a black writers' conference. I am clearly black, but I'm not sure yet on how much of a writer I am. I suppose I have been invited because my first play will be opening. In any case, let's presume I'm a writer. I was born on the south side of Chicago. I was born black and female. I was born in a depression after one world war and came into my adolescence during another. And while I was still in my teens, the first atom bombs were dropped on me and me. I have been personally the victim of physical attack, which was the offspring of racial and political hysteria. I have lost friends and relatives to cancer, lynching, war, drug addiction, alcoholism, and I've come to my maturity as we all know, knowing that greed and malice, brutality, and indifference, and above all else, ignorance, abound in this world. I say this to you now so that you know that what I have written and what I write on is not based on the assumptions of idyllic possibilities or innocent assessments of the true nature of life, but rather my own personal view, that all this considered, it is still not unthinkable to me that the human race might just do what the ancient will, impose the reason for life on life.
The lives you can look into. I think you can find the temple of my people on that back porch.
The honesty of their living is there, in the shadows. Scrubbed porches that sag and look their danger. Dirty gray steps, and always a line of white pink clothes. Scrubbed so well, waving in the dirty wind of the sea.
My people are poor,
And they are tired.
And they are determined to live.
our South Side is a place apart, each piece of our living.
State of Illinois, Department of Health, Division of Vital Statistics, Certificate of Birth, registered number 21383. Date of birth, May 19, 1930, place, County of Cook, Chicago. Full name of child,
Lorraine Hansberry.
sex, female, legitimate,
Yes.
father,
Carl A. Hansberry, 5330 Calumet Avenue.
father's color, Negro,
Correction, black.
father's birthplace,
Last on Mississippi.
present occupation,
United States Deputy Marshal.
mother,
Nanny Perry.
mother's color, Negro.
Correction. Black.
Number of children of this mother born alive and now living,
4.
Outside summers were the ordinary city kind, full of the street gangs and crime that anticipated what some people insist on calling modern poetry. I remember skinny little Southside bodies by the 5 pins of us, panting the delicious hours away. The voices of Dorothy, you mean?
yes, you may take one giant step.
One joins all one's breath, tight one's fist, pulls a small body against the heavens, stretching and straining the muscles of the land, just to take one giant step. It's been a long time. One forgets. Why was it important to take a small step, a teeny step, or one giant step? A giant step to wait. Evenings remain spent on back porches, where screen doors slant in darkness along to a really very special summertime sound. And when Chicago nights got too steep, we would go out into the park where it was cool and sweet young grass. And there was usually the scent of freshly cut lemons or melons. And Daddy would lie on his back, as Father's mother, and explain how the stars above us became to be and how far away they were. I never did learn to believe anything could be as far away as that, especially
My mother first took us south one summer when I was 7 or 8 to visit her Tennessee birthplace. I woke up while we were still driving through someplace called Kentucky, and my mother was pointing out to the beautiful hills and telling my brother how her father had run away from his master and hidden in those very hills when he was a little boy. She said that his mother had wandered along the wooded slopes in the moonlight and left food for him in secret places. They were very beautiful hills, and I looked at them for miles and miles, And I wondered who and what a master might be. I remember being startled the first time I saw my grandmother. All my life, I had heard what a great beauty she was, but no one had ever bothered to remark they meant a half century before. The woman that I meant was as wrinkled as a prune, could hardly hear and barely see, but she could rock and talk and make the most wonderful cupcakes, which were like cornbread, only sweet. She died the next summer, and that is all I remember about her, except that she was born in slavery and had memories of it, and they sounded nothing like Gone with the Wind.
Touched my hand. She was the true star, Father.
What you always running off all the time? You're going to catch another whippet, boy.
I don't run off all the time.
Oh, Hannibal, Hannibal.
Oh, Hannibal, Hannibal.
Martha found out you stole that Bible. You be in trouble bad.
Me and you was born in trouble, Martha.
What you think the Lord think of somebody who would steal the holy book itself?
What you think I do with it, Sarah? Sarah, I can read. I can. Sarah, I can read. Look. The book of Jeremiah.
Hannah, you can't make them marks out for real. You done memorized for prayer meetings.
No, sir. Oh, that I said that I had wings like a dove. Then would I fly away and be at rest.
That's where you go all the time. Somebody been learning you. Don't you know what they do to you? They find out.
Ain't nobody gonna find out. Hey, Sarah, come here, look here.
What?
Look at that big old fat shiny star right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. That makes up the difference there. Yo, chicken water stuff. Sure is bright tonight. Sure would make good traveling light.
Shh, Hannibal.
Up there, pointing due north. Follow the drinking road.
Stop it.
Follow the drinking road. For the old man's away. For the journey to freedom. Follow.
Sure like your brother, boy. Just like him. Look like him. Talk like him. And God sure knows you think like him. In time, I reckon, you'll be gone like him.
Get all the cameras still? Sure he did. I bet you that. I bet he works in a lumberyard and has a house and a wife.
You mean if he's alive,
He's
Hannibal?
alive, all right, Sarah. He's alive. And he's free. I met him the other night to bring some food and extra pair of shoes. He was standing right over there. Right over there. And the moonlight was streaming down on him. And he was breathing hard. No one knows he was breathing hard. You can almost hear him on the other side of the room. We didn't say nothing to you, nothing at all. I just had him in his pocket and put it in his shirt and gave me something to push on the shoulder. And then he turned and went through the woods like lightning. He was found out this way.
Hannibal, you ain't the dog, don't you? How you know so much better than that all?
I don't know, Sarah. I just know what it's like to be a slave.
We all slaves, Hannibal. But there's some in there got so bad. We know how to bend a little.
Let him bend. Me, I am the only kind of slave I can stand to be. A bad one. Every day that comes, and every hour that passes, that I got sent to make a half-step do for a hoe, to pretend sickness instead of health, to be stupid instead of smart, lazy instead of quick, I aim to do it. And the more pain, and the more it costs master, the more Hannibal is a man. The way I look at it, every slave ought to run off before he dies.
Oh, Hannibal, I couldn't go. I'm too delicate. My breath would hold out from here to the river.
No, not you, Sarah. Scary part is you.
Hannibal!
Don't worry. I'll come back for you. And try you. And Mama too, she's still living. I'll surely remember.
He believed in American private enterprise, among other things, a mad concern about beauty. But we are all shaped, are we not? By the particular religious goal which I swim, and I have remained throughout the balance of my life, a creature formed in the community atmosphere, where I was known as a rich girl. In any case, mother sent me to school in white fur, in the middle of the Depression. The kids, they beat me up. But I think it was from that moment, I became a rebel. Cousin was a large bird all along. She had noticed it for days. And when at last the morning came, and she was allowed to whip us under the smooth white tissue paper, the child was nothing but spit, stung. The grown-ups oohed and awed. They touched the fur. They congratulated the mother. But all the while, the child sat half ill with the outrage that had been committed against her Christian. She was compelled to stand up. A small, angry mannequin, while the coat was first lovingly shaken and then thrust upon her frame and buttoned to her chin, as a mother placed on her head. Now she was ready. And she was made to walk up and down to the grown-ups could ooh and ah yet another chorus. At the hall mirror she saw her. She looked just like one of the enormous stupid rabbits in her silly little coloring book. She hated those rabbits. Several tears, fat enough, rose at once and spilled down her cheeks and past her tight lips until they dripped directly onto the urn. But the oohs and the ahs prevailed. Swathed in white, I was sent to school, where the children of the ghetto prompted them for me and equal. Ever since that day, I've been antagonist to the symbols of choice. Ever since that day, I chose my president intended assassination. But there have been an aspect of society of kids in the ghetto which demanded the utmost respect. They fought. The girls as well as the boys, they fought. If you went right to them, there they were, after school waiting for you. A little gang of them in their gym shoes, flaunting off the sidewalk, face to face with toughness. The dialogue began.
She said you said I was dirty underwear.
I didn't say that. Who you calling a lie? I ain't calling nobody a lie. You trying to say you didn't say what I said? You said I did. See? She said it again. Hit her! Dreadful things ensued after that. A sudden blow of one's entire But above all, the sheer terror of it, the fact of violence.
Inglewood High School, Southside Chicago, and
William Shakespeare. I remember we had to memorize speeches from Julius Caesar and Macbeth, all under the auspices of a strange and bewigged teacher who we naturally and cruelly christened Pale Hecate. God rest her gentle and rapid and guiding soul.
you do not read, write, nor speak the English language. I suspect you do not even think in it. God only knows in what language you do think, or if you think it all. Tis true the English have done little enough with the tongue, but being the English, I expect it was the best that stayed in Jew. In any case, I'll have it learned properly before living one of you will pass out of this class. That I will. As for you, Miss, as for you indeed, surely you will recognize the third letter of the alphabet when you've seen it. See? I see it here. You're bright and clever one now, after all, aren't you, lass? And now, my brilliance, will you also be informed as to what a great signifies when it is thus put upon the page? Average? Yes. And what else in your case, my iridescent? Well then, I'll be telling you in fine order. It stands for chief, my luminous ones. For them that will do half when all is called for. For them that will slip and slide at the edge of their minds, never once pushing into the interior to see what wonders are hiding there. Content to drift along on whatever gets them by. Treating themselves, treating the world, treating nature. That is what I see, my dear child, my pet. My laziest queen of Ethiopia.
A source of comfort and agitation, so bound together they are inseparable. Shakespeare, notwithstanding, neither Pale Hecate nor anyone else could bring much comfort on the agitated day of school at the racetrack. Oh yes, I remember, and will never forget how the well-dressed colored students like myself stood amusedly around at the mall of taunting whites and not showing the least inclination to assert racial pride. Then had come the veterans, volunteers from Wendell Phillips High School, carloads of them, making baseball bats. The word had gone into the ghetto. The young men, they're out on strike, and they're beating up and raping colored girls under the viaduct.
Yeah, you better go. Them little chicken shit niggas ain't about to fight.
And so they had come, pouring out the bowels together. The children of the unqualified oppressed, the children of the black land with their segment, content, tiger, Bible language, and worst of all, something held up our revenge. Yes, they have come and they have fought. He had taken the mayor and the visit of a famous movie star to get everyone's minds on other things again. He had been terribly handsome and full of speeches on tolerance, and given a lot of autographs. But she had been unimpressed. She could never forget one thing. They had fought that. Seven-letter word for love. Romance.
Only the snow could have coaxed Candace from the warmth of the fire and the crossword puzzle. The glorious, cold, clean Wisconsin snow. Certainly not plastic. She stood high above the student union. To hell with Fine Arts 103. Bruegel would have chosen these hills, the black trees of winter, the evergreen, and the snow. In 2 years of college, only this did not disappoint. The snow. What was it about the snow? Was the European part of a bloodstream Viking, perhaps? slave master's great-grandfathers were furs, who had forced themselves upon her slave great-grandmothers. Who were they? Candace only knew that she was of that composition that defined many, if not most American blacks. The continents of the world had been in her blood. Europe, Africa, and Aboriginal America. Still, one did not hear of Viking slave owners particularly.
As for the African part, she spent hours of her younger years poring over maps of the African continent, postulating and fantasizing.
Igbo, Mandingo, Hausa, Yoruba, Ashanti, Kikuyu.
Who were they? One thing was certain, she was at one texture, blood, follicles of the hair, nerve ends, all of the sound of a mighty Congo drum.
And there she stood now in the snow, thinking perhaps the poles of the earth had mentioned her. Until suddenly she realized she was not on the slopes alone. He was wearing a neat, thin, and distinctively on-campus coat. And he was not a Viking.
If you're that cold, why on earth stand out here?
It's cold everywhere in your country. And here,
It is cold everywhere out of doors in my country. We do have sea and heat.
I'm willing to go in if you have
City.
Ah, tea, she thought. And the accent. She thought of Casablanca and intrigue and English prejudice and the black men peering up into the white light of the desert. She would try it. Tea.
Well, don't you care? About Africa, the liberation. Millions of Africans marching, singing, carrying their leaders on their shoulders.
I think you see on the downstep of the farm, and the shoulders of other men is not a very good place for leaders.
Were you in the resistance?
What resistance?
Against the Italians?
I was only 4 years old then. My cell was never called an option.
Why are you like that?
Like what?
Well, so disparaging about all the big things.
I was supposed to know the most of them.
6 serious hours later, she had made it back at the dorm, filled to bursting and savoring every detail she had planned for Mariella. He had not said it yet, but the look was unmistakable in his eyes. And moreover, right in the middle of page 238 of Facing Mount Kenya, he closed the book and that ought to hold good old Mariella.
Mary Ellen, listen, I got news for you. Well, Kitty, I'm ready. My God, you've been sleeping with him.
Well, there are no new stars in the heavens, are there?
Well. Boy, that's what I hate about those intellectual type of friendships. Doesn't he wear anything? Don't you? Listen, Mary Ellen, you have to have an abortion and all that.
No, I'm not gonna have it. I want the baby.
You do?
Yes, I do. That's why I didn't use anything that you put it. I wanted it to happen.
You did?
I did. And I did. Listen, Ken, I'm very, very happy. And Carl, he is too. Well, at least I think so. And if it works out, we'll be married.
And if it doesn't,
We won't.
well, Mary Ellen, what are you going to do with it? Take it to class every day?
No, I'm gonna quit. I found what I wanted in college. And for the rest, I can read.
It's just unacceptable, inexplainable, absurd.
What in the name of God are you talking about? Mary Ellen is my friend, a perfectly marvelous girl.
And do you really think her behavior is acceptable for a decent young woman?
Her behavior, you think she got that way just by letting him scare her or something?
Well, of course he's responsible, but one only presumes with such a kind of girl.
Oh, the old North African version of the double standard, hey? The boys can and the girls can't. Long live the Industrial Revolution! Long live the United States
matter with the young woman I represent?
And you call yourself a revolutionary. Well, I bet you at least one half of the girls on the campus have them. Diaphragms and use them. And it's growing all the time. And, well, when the pill comes in, well, all the excuses will be over then. Women will be exactly as free as men. Long live! Well, now they're talking about like this and everything.
I'm sorry. I truly did not mean to embarrass you.
That does not embarrass me. Listen, were you just getting information just now? I mean, were you asking me what you did? Or were you asking me too? Well, I don't know if you. With an American boy, it would have been a sneaky lead up, you know.
I was getting information, but it would be against my principles to sleep with you under the present circumstances. Mind you, I said my principles. Not taking in your head that every Ethiopian would therefore do the same.
She had not planned it earlier, but now she had made up her mind. On behalf of American women and world emancipation, she would change his mind about a number of things. Nice girls and bad girls belong in the Middle Ages, and she was going to bring one gorgeous black knight without armor into the 20th century.
Among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and the hour of our death. Amen. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death. Amen. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is
These things have nothing to do with the will of God. What can God do against the stupidity of man? Oh, blessed Virgin, where were you when the darting sun was riddled with bullets? When the darting sun was riddled with bullets? Sacred Heart of the crucified Jesus, take away our hearts of stone and give us hearts of flesh.
I remember rather clearly that my room had been an accident. Also, I sat close to the orchestra of the great modern university theater, the woman's voice, the howl, the shriek of the music.
Take away this murdering hate and give us that old eternal love.
I remember sitting there consumed as that well hummed and rose through the tenement, through Dublin, through Ireland itself, and then mingled with the seas to become something born of the Irish well that's all of us. The writer, Sean O'Casey. The play, Juno and the Peacock. But the play might have been sung in a different meter, a meter I had known for a very long time. I was 17 then, and I did not think of writing a meter as I knew it in a different key, but I believed it into my consciousness and stayed there.
Oh, come on, come, yeah! What kind of dance is that, Betty? Huh? I said, what kind of dance is that, honey? It's a folk dance. What kind of folks do this? Some night shit. It's a dance of what? Who you are? The men. Back to the village. Where they been? How should I know? I'm hunting or something. Anyway, they coming back.
Well, that's good.
Yeah!
What's the name?
And Ethiopia shall stretch forth her arms again.
Yes, I sure is claiming my home tonight.
Ah, shut up. I'm taking those drums. In my heart of hearts, I am much warrior.
In your heart of hearts, you are much drunk.
Speaking of the cocks in yonder hill, beyond where the chiefs meet in council for the coming of the mighty war. Do you hear the singing of the women, singing the sweet war songs of our fathers to the babies in the great houses?
Oh, we hear.
Singing the sweet war songs. Do you hear my black brothers telling us to prepare for the greatness of time?
Harlem Church, a Baptist church. It's not a Sunday and nobody is dressed up. People out in front of the church on the sidewalk ask, who is it? And someone with an angry face whispers the answer. When you go in, it's quiet. Nobody is crying. It's just quiet. The church reminds you of all the Sundays you have ever known. Soap and flower odors and music. Most of all, it reminds of you and you wait. You think while you wait. And someone asks, what's wrong? Why haven't they come? And the minister says, there has been a delay, but they are coming now.
And it was dark and hot in July in New York in 1951. And suddenly, I felt an old familiar need to chat a bit. Since I quit school, I have been living to my total dissatisfaction with 3 other girls on the Lower East Side. Work for the new black paper, Freedom, published by Paul Robeson. I am considerably slimmer than you remember me. Some of the blemishes have disappeared off my face, and I think I smile less, but perhaps with more sincerity when I do. I take home $31.70, which I think must account for the slimness. Sing only foreign movies, eat all the foreign foods in New York, and spend most of my free hours there talking with my people in the streets about everything. Quite simply, and quietly as I know how to say it, I am sick of poverty, lynching, stupid wars, and the universal maltreatment of my people. And obsessed with a rather desperate desire for a new world for me and my brothers. Supposed to get married about September. Spirit happy and defiant. Love.
All right. So now you know something about me you didn't know. In these streets out here, any little white boy from Long Island or Westchester sees me, leans out of his car and yells, "Hey there, hot chocolate! Say, you Jezebel! Hey,
And the white boys in the street, they look at me and they think of sex. That's all they think. Baby, you can be Jesus in drag, but if you're black, they're sure you're selling.
I suppose the most heroic expression that I've ever seen was that on the face of a certain tough little but brutalized and slum-slaughtered woman at Coney Island. She had her arm around a small girl child who looked hardly any less brutalized or slum-slaughtered. The mother's look said,
Baby, we gonna have a good time tonight.
19. My dearest, once again I wrote you a very long letter. The important thing it said was that I finally admitted to myself that I really do love you. It said that I had a terrific, no, exciting idea for a play. It said, but I can tell you that myself. I'm returning to New York. The important things about this trip being that it cleared my head. So for the first time, I thought some things into some basic truths. They go thusly. I'm a writer. I'm going to write.
Oh, Mary, Mac, all dressed in black, with silver buttons, all down her back. Oh, Mary, Mac, all dressed in black, with silver buttons, all down her back.
She said you sound with dirty underwear. I didn't say that. Mother was pointing out to the beautiful hills.
Yes, you may. Take one giant step.
We better go, because them little chicken shit niggas ain't about to fight. Who and what a monster might be.
My dearest, I'm sitting at this typewriter on this miserable night, feeling useless, frustrated, helpless, angry, and tired.
The cops, she asked, did the cops do it? And she looks at him, and she looks at you, and she says, I guess it don't make no difference about going to school then.
I tell you, there are times when you think the peace and creation and symphonies are to be found in this life. And honey, that's a desperate thing.
Cheating the world, cheating themselves, cheating nature, that is what a thing means. My dear child, my lady is queen of the Ethiopians.
Christmas 1955, late hours. My work. It is only here that I dare say it like this on paper. My work. So many truths seem to be rushing at me as a result of something seen, heard, and lived through.
The young ladies are out on strike and they're beating up.
Them little chicken shit niggas ain't about to fight.
In their closet.
Hey, pants, tight skirt,
All the time I crave.
corn at the bowels of the ghetto.
Entities.
And worst of all, coloration.
And the power.
Held up by rubber bands.
April 1957.
Intro.
When I will have conquered all my days, when I shall become the mistress of the miseries of ordinary, when I will pummel trouble into nothing and fashion the atoms of unqualified despair into a star of hope, when I will have made the agony of hours a lovely thing, and all the aching griefs of solitude a sweet and simple song. Why then, move, death, come with me to some other land, for I will be ready then.
My work. It's a sweet promise, hiding, whispering evil. Your mandingo, longing. Ha!
A shot.
I want the world to love my king.
Texture,
Blood.
Follicles of the hair.
I want the world to love my singer,
All with the sound.
whether I'm blessed for it or not.
Of a mighty Congo drum.
I want it.
Hey there, hot chocolate.
Did the cops do it?
My lady is queen of the Ethiopians.
Like, what did you get out of here? Them whole chicken shit, nigga. Your mama. You better go. Them whole
January 19th. 19. Dear Mother, well, here we are. I'm sitting here in this nice hotel room next to the Schumer Theater. The actors are very good, and the directors are very talented men. So if Raising the Sun is a poor show, I won't have a soul to blame but the youngest daughter. Mama, it's a play that tells the truth about life, people, Negroes, and I think it will help some people to understand that we are just as complicated as they are. Just as mixed up. But, above all, we are a miserable, downtrodden race. People are the very essence of human dignity. I hope it will make you very proud. Love to all.
Where you been, son?
Made a call.
To who, son?
To the man.
What man, baby? What man?
The man, Mama. Don't you know who the man is?
What's the lead?
The man. Captain Boss. Mr. Charlie. Oh, Captain, please, Mr. Boss Man.
Linda?
That's right. That's good. I asked him to come right on over.
For what? What do you want to see him for?
We gonna do business with that man.
Son, what you talking about?
I'm talking about life, Mama. You always asking me to see life like it is. Well, I laid in there on my back today and I saw life just like it is. He who gets and he who don't get. Mama, you know it's all divided up like this between the takers and the took. And some of us are always getting took. And you know why? Because we all mixed up bad. We get to looking around for the right and the wrong of things, and we worry about it, and we cry about it, and we stay up nights trying to figure out about the wrong and the right of things. And all the time, man, the takers is out there operating, just taking and taking and taking.
What, honey? You talking about taking them people's money to keep us from moving in our new house?
Oh, I ain't just talking about it, baby. I'm telling you, that's what's gonna happen.
No, Martha. We gotta move. Tell them, Lena. Tell them. We got 4 grown people in this house. We can work. I'll work 20 hours a day and no more tickets to Chicago. I'll strap my baby on my back if I have to. I'll scrub all the floors in America and wash all the sheets in America if I have to. But we gotta move. We gotta get out of here.
Baby, you don't understand. You still don't understand. Them people out there where you want us to move to is so upset, they willing to pay us not to move. And we gonna help them. That white man's gonna walk through that door, able to write a check for more money than we ever had.
Son, how come you talking so much about money?
Because it is life, Mama.
Oh, so now it's life? Money is life? Once upon a time, freedom used to be life. Now it's money? I guess the world really do change.
No, it was always money. We just didn't know it before.
No, son. I come from 5 generations of people who were slaves and sharecroppers. But ain't nobody in my family never took money from nobody as a way of telling us we wasn't fit to walk this earth. We ain't never been that poor. We ain't never been that dead on the inside.
But what do you all want from me? I didn't make this world. It was given to me exactly this way.
How you gonna feel on the inside, baby?
Mama, I'm gonna feel fine. Just fine. Like a man.
You won't have nothing left there, Walter Lee.
Mama, I'm gonna look that son of a bitch in the eye and say, that's your neighborhood out there. And you have the right to keep it how you want. You just put the money in my hand and you won't have to live next to this bunch of stinking niggas. Or just maybe I'll get down on my black knees. A captain, a mister, boss man. Yes, sir, great my father. Just give us the money for God's sake. We ain't going to come out there dirty up your white folks' neighborhood. And I'll feel fine. I'm gonna feel fine. Just fine. Fine. Hello? It was certainly nice to hear from you people. Life can be so much different than people let it be most of the time. Well, so who do I negotiate with? You, Mr. Younger, or your son, Dick?
Well, Mr. Linder, we called you today because, well, me and my family, we're very plain people.
Yes, of course, Mr. Younger.
I mean, I'm a chauffeur, and my wife here, she works in people's kitchens. So does my mother. We are a very plain people.
Yes, I understand, Mr. Younger.
And my father was a laborer most of his life.
Yes, Mr. Younger.
And my father once almost beat a man to death because this man had called him a bad name. Do you know what I mean?
No, I'm afraid I don't, Mr. Younger.
Well, what I mean is that we come from a people who had a lot of pride. We are a very proud people. And that's my sister. And she's going to be a doctor. We are a very proud family. And I have a son, and he makes the 6th generation of our family in this country. And we have all thought about your offer.
Good.
We have decided to move into our new house. Oh yes, because my father, he earned it for us, brick by brick. We don't want your money, Mr. Linder.
Well, perhaps I can appeal to you, Mr. Younger.
Child, you know how these young people are these days. You can't do a thing with them. Goodbye.
Beautiful.
I really hope you people know what you're getting yourselves into.
Well, Hamden rose through the tenements, through Dublin, through Ireland itself, and then mingled with these to become something more than the Irish girl that was born. The writer, Sean O'Hagan. But the melody was one that might have been sung in a different region, a melody I had known for a very long time. I was 17 then, and I did not think of writing the melody as I knew it, in a different key. But I believe it entered my consciousness and stayed there. How can one adequately tell that?
Are you happy, nigga? I done recorded your movie for you. This was a Chris Gilbert Productions. I'm rich, bitch.
Miss Hansberry, after having read and enjoyed A Raisin in the Sun several times, I decided to ask for help on an assignment. I am a senior at Okinawa and Kubisaki, and I'm taking drama 1.
Dear Miss Hansberry, I'm a native Georgian, and I thought it was a wonderful play, and most informative from the Negro's viewpoint. Now, I understand the moral, but I can't imagine what the future holds for this family. I wonder if you could explain whether the white neighborhood accepts them.
Dear Miss Hansberry, would you please send me your autograph? If you're as nice as you look, I know I shall receive it. Your faithful follower. P.S. I have scores of playwrights among my 4,650
Dear Miss Hansberry, I am one of the 9 students that attended Little Rock Central High School. I guess you can call it the crew who tried my first band lesson. I wish all the people could have seen the play before entering Central in 1967. It would have made us proud of Henderson because we knew we were not the only walk to be young. Sincerely.
April 27, 1960. Dear Kenneth Marion, I have received a great many letters from students, but I must confess, not so many from a white form. They were on the British station line, and so I was particularly pleased to hear from you. You asked my views of the Negro question, with particular regard to Martin Luther King and the nonviolent movement. Like most of my generation, I support and applaud Dr. King. At the same time, I have no illusion it is enough. I believe that the world is political, and that political power in one form or another is the ultimate key to the liberation of the American Negro and black folks throughout the world. The pressure rears us everywhere. Until 20 million black people are interwoven to the fabric of our society, you see, they are under no obligation to behave as they were. What I'm saying is, whether you like the word or not, the present condition of our people dictates what can only be called revolutionary attitudes. I think then that Negroes must concern themselves with every single means of struggle: legal, illegal, passive, active, violent, and nonviolent. They must harass, debate, petition, give money to court struggles, sit in, lie down, strike, boycott, and shoot from their windows when racists come cruising through their communities. The acceptance of our present condition is the only form of extremism which discredits us before our children. Sincerely.
Madam Shen Julan, Department of Western Language and Literature, Peking University, Peking, China. Dear Madam Shen, I am sure that you despair of the manners of Americans, to say the least, but this late reply does not reflect the lack of interest in your warm, exciting letter. It was my very first letter in my life from China, and I am thrilled to be addressed on such an occasion in connection with my work. Indeed, as I read your letter, I was filled with a flood of things I should like to ask of you and your work. Chinese literature, China, oh, everything. Centuries of myth and ignorance and the present political chasm stand between our two nations. By all means, let you and I extend correspondence.
You ask about my other work? I am sorry to say there are no such at the moment. I don't know how it is in your theater, but here, that which is called success is treated rather like the second coming. It takes a bit of character not to be inundated by all the press, luncheons, dinner parties, attention, etc., which is suddenly hurled at one. One either spends a great deal of time hiding and making up excuses or going to all that.
calls to be the boss.